How we feeling? How we feeling about the finale?
I felt like it was like a bit of like a lackluster conclusion. Yeah, a lot of mysteries and questions like were left unanswered, and like I feel like a lot of things were just like left to be unexplored.
I got really bored like during a after a nap one day, and I decided I have nothing better to do with my time, which is like really unfortunate. So I watched the finale, and I kind of wish I went back to sleep.
My thoughts on the finale, that shit was ass.
Right? I liked when they put Jax in a fucking cage, like the worthless animal that he is.
It wasn't really worth it. Like I feel like all this sort of like focus onto it, all this sort of like hype built up around it, like all this like teasing and stuff, and it's like you it all ends up with you just learning that he's always been like this like demented person that's like a bit of like.
I drove 4 hours to see this utter disappointment with my friends. It's the worst investment of my dollar since the Switch 2. The Digital Circus finale kinda sucks, and it opened my eyes to some of the show's overall greater flaws, many of which can be attributed to this anemic purple virus going around infecting everyone with he's just a wounded child syndrome, hogging all the fucking screen time. So I wrote draft 1 of this script before it came out on YouTube, and I said 20 minutes of the 50-minute film were Jack's exclusive as a joke. And then I rewatched it on YouTube, and it was factual. Jax's entire character is just, I want to be left alone, but the writers can't leave this bum-ass nigga alone, and it is to the detriment of the entire show, starting with...
Ugh, forget it! You're probably not even listening.
So, Zooble is great. It's just...
Please, sir. I want some more.
One of the show's main themes is that everyone matters no matter who they are or where they came from, but when you see Zooble's screen time compared to Jax's, it feels like the writers view all these characters equally, but the Twinkie jaundiced slagomorph is a little bit more equal than everyone else. And the main argument I hear when I bring this up is that Jax is supposed to be a deuteragonist or Zooble is supposed to be a background character. It's a disservice to even have a background character in a main ensemble in this show because the show's two draws are its mystery and its characters. And I'm not gonna lie, if you look at all of these good character concepts and then you decide to go for the bully with a sad backstory, please pack it up and go home. Whenever we get graced with a bit of Zooble screen time, it feels more like of a here nigga damn! Jingling keys in front of me for a little bit before we can go back to Jax being a fucking loser. Zooble's character work is really good too, but he just gets completely shafted in favor of this emotionally stunted, jaundice-riddled toddler. A problem not exclusive to Zooble but really relevant to her is the fact that she doesn't really have any interesting dynamics other than Gangle and... I actually really appreciate that Zooble develops independently from Pomni. When your main character is the catalyst for every change in the show, it can feel like the world is frozen outside of your MC's perception. Zooble developing alongside Gangle instead of Pomni really makes the world feel less static. It makes the characters feel like real people. However, even if it doesn't directly drive their development, Gangle should still have the opportunity to interact with Pomni in a one-on-one setting, as well as the rest of the cast, but they don't. And it's because they don't have the screen time because we need to give that all to Jax. Zooble has one trait, they have body dysmorphia and they're sad about it. Every time it's brought up, it's a B-plot. See Kinger episode. See they all get guns. The guns episode is Zooble's best character work. They give them self-advice through Gangle and then find out the benefits to their detachable pieces by going forearms mode and mixing up Funny Bunny.
Who the fuck
is Giga Nigga, what the f-? The show often criticized for having too many conversations for some reason. It's a perfect example of show don't tell. Zubul doesn't say, hey, this body ain't so bad mid-gunfight. He just does some quick thinking and then mixes them up, and then the viewer gets to connect the dots themselves. Unfortunately, that one singular scene practically solves their dysmorphia. Zubul has a conversation with Jack saying, hey, this body isn't so bad, the thing I just praised them for not doing in the previous episode, and it's never addressed again. Zubul gets reduced to the couple of fries in the bottom of the bag of your Happy Meal instead of being the whole fries themselves. Meanwhile, Jack's is Big Smoke's entire order.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda.
So pretty much everybody knew that Kinger was hiding some crazy ass secrets from the get-go. Then he had episode 3, and episode 3 was a highlight. Genuinely perfect episode. Hey, tied that bum bastard up. I couldn't be happier. The issue is, Gooseworks went, okay, so now that you know his backstory, that's all the depth you're getting. He's now an exposition vending machine. So for the beach episode, right, my first inkling that the whole Escape the Circus adventure was an actual hoax and not a real adventure was the fact that when Abel came along, he gave us all the answers all in one sitting. Because I thought, hey, that would be too good to be true and also bad writing to do that. And then guess what they did the next episode? They put a bucket on that nigga's head and he gave us every answer. Well, not every answer. We'll get to that later, but you understand what you understand. Yeah, yep. I love him dearly, but he is a depressingly static character. It feels like we watch him after he's finished developing as a character instead of actually see him go through the motions. Like I said, this show is about struggle, and we see Kinger just not struggle. And I don't count grief because you never stop grieving. You learn to live with it, and he's found his coping mechanisms. And that's as good as you're ever going to get when you grieve someone. He's there for everyone who needs it in some really great scenes, but nobody's ever there for him, and they don't need to be because he never needs anything. He's flawless and ultimately boring when he shouldn't be, given how interesting his backstory is and given how much importance he has in the show. Needing a bucket is not a character flaw. That's like saying a diabetic needing an EpiPen is a character flaw. No, he's just disabled. Queenie gets shafted in the process as well, and this ends up being a pattern. Queenie got pretty hyped up for being attached to Kinger, and, well...
And here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
And the show does not leave us without crumbs. Kinger says that he hated himself for the things he thought he was responsible for, and he also tells Pomni that the worst thing you can do in this place is make someone feel unwanted, implying that he and Queenie either had a falling out or Kinger just neglected her in some way. Considering he is in part responsible for the circus because he made King, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch for him to feel guilt about trapping everyone, obsess over finding an exit, and then watching everyone abstract. And I'm not mad that this wasn't told to us, it's pretty laid out, pretty heavily implied. I'm mad that it was heavily implied when Jax gets, I swear to God, they love Jax more than light-skinned niggas love the N-word. Hey, what's up? It's weird, they're foils in a way. Kinger gets flattened, Jax gets bloated. With screen time, don't look that up. Or do, I'm not a cop. Also, Kinger made King, and I feel like their dynamic was not explored enough at all. Kinger is kept in the dark, so to speak, in the beach episode, but that was only to keep him from letting everyone know that it was fake. And I feel there was this parent-son relationship where he missed out on Kane. Either Kane could be holding resentment for Kinger for sealing him away, or the opposite, King could be showing Kinger favoritism because he loves his papa.
Like she does nothing. She literally makes friends with the nigga, does nothing wrong, and then just fucking dies, bro. It's crazy.
What did Jack's screen time not take away from the show? You know what I'm saying? Who benefited from this? Because I can't even say Jax benefited from this. I feel like the more the nigga was on screen, the more I hated him.
How do you feel about Ribbit?
How do I feel about Mrs. Plot Device? She's alright. She's bad. That's for sure.
and then she doesn't do anything to like backstab him or do anything wrong to him. He just tweaks out for no reason.
I'm not gonna lie to you, right? The existence of Ribbit and Cosmo, I don't fucking care. Can I keep it a buck with you, bro? I don't fucking care.
No. Mrs. Plot Device.
Man.
She was hyped up since like episode 5, and she does nothing and dies.
Exactly.
Imagine if Ribbit actually did something. Maybe I would have enjoyed his backstory more. If Ribbit actually did something. Like not even did something bad, just did something, bro. Just did something.
Jax having trouble expressing his emotions. JPEG, big red circle with big red pointer.
Ribbit, huh? I really could just play again what I said about Queenie towards Ribbit and it would be the same fucking thing. Queenie got pretty hyped up for being attached to Kinger and, well... Ribbit is just a plot device. She could literally not exist and it could have been Cosmo abstracting. It doesn't do anything for Jax's character except make me hate him more. Because instead of causing one person to kill themselves, he causes 2 people to kill themselves. He has a kill streak going. He's going for the squad wipe. He's going for the nuke. Thank God he got himself before he could do that. Ribbit didn't even do anything. You could argue that she pried, but literally she apologized for it the day after. All she asked was for Jax to open up, and he did, and then he started tweaking. And then he pretends Ribbit doesn't exist, and then poof, no more Ribbit. Jax effectively killed somebody, doubled down on the actions that effectively killed somebody, which caused another death, and changed nothing about his action. When Gangle came, this guy must have been elated because he could divert his bloodlust onto somebody new. And then Pomni comes along, and she's this fresh start that Jax absolutely does not deserve, and he fumbles the fuck out of it anyway. Jax said that he would forget if one of the 5 human beings that he would ever interact with ever for the rest of eternity would die. And don't worry, Pomni still keeps extending olive branches that he absolutely does not fucking deserve, because Jax never faces any fucking accountability in this show. Like seriously, fuck all the cast members for just letting that nigga name Gangle for no reason and just going along with it. He's just a dumb fucking loser who can't handle his big feelings because he's just a goo-goo baby, just a mentally disturbed Ozempic eggplant. And the show expects me, after sitting through all of his antics, showing me worse and worse actions and 0 remorse for them, in a way that matters at least. The show expects me to feel bad for him. The show expects me to root for Pomni as she keeps going up to Jax trying to make a connection with him and keeps getting burned. Pomni is supposed to be this adaptable, level-headed character, observant, can clock a nigga's teeth like that. I snapped in real life, I don't know if the mic picked it up. And I'm not saying it goes away entirely, but after episode 6, a lot of it goes away for this really annoying I can fix them attitude. Like obviously Jax was lying when she was talking about some whole chicken and an egg speech. Like yes, obviously there's more than meets the eye with you. And I just feel like Pomni should be smart enough, given what we've seen with her, to understand that yes, there's more to meets the eye with Jax, but she won't give it up, so there's no point. Those walls put up, twin. Stop trying to scale them. He just puts them up higher. Fucking loser. Pomni risks her life going into his abstracted dome, getting strangled, getting glitched, and you know what happens? Instead of saying, I'm sorry,
Hate you.
and then he explodes. And I'm just sitting there stone-faced in the theater because you're right, I do not love you and I won't miss you when you die. And I hate you too, nigga, fuck you.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Grab your bones and pop your pansies, cause here we go!
Kane's arc also had quite a bit of build.
And the birthday says, bless come.
Kane's arc starts off really well. Kane is a viciously insecure and codependent creature who thinks himself to be a benevolent god. He craves human validation but can't earn it because he fundamentally misunderstands how human minds work. Eventually, he begins to hate humans and decides if they hate everything he does, what's the point, and goes cuckoo crazy mode torturing them, and then fucking dies. Then his redemption arc goes so fast it speed blitzes Mark turning off the lights to have coitus with Amber. It's unsatisfying because it's rushed. Kane coming back makes sense logically, right? When you delete your files, they don't actually go away, the computer just allows that space to be overwritten when you download something else. However, it's kind of a poor narrative choice because he does this complete 180 flip, one order farming sequence in the void, and he gets all the answers. It goes from feeling like he misunderstood humans and that's why they were unsatisfied, to he understood humans the entire time and just didn't do shit to help them for some reason. And it sucks because Kane is just such a cool character. He craves validations from humans, right? But he actively ignores the moon and AI which has really given him that validation that he supposedly desires. His desperate yearning for human validation becomes his downfall when that admiration curdles into resentment and he goes cuckoo crazy mode. And then the humans end up being AI anyway, and he still puts them on a pedestal over the moon, actively going against the theme of all life mattering regardless of origin. He never programmed the moon to love him, but she learned to do it anyway, making her love for him just as valid as a human saying, "Good job, Kane, thank you." But because Kane didn't watch episode 2 of his own show, I guess, he didn't view it as the same, and that led to his downfall. It's good writing. Something really compelling here, but it gets squandered because they had to condense it so they could fit more Jax being an asshole.
I wish Gangle performed a Arabian lively execution on this man.
Characters, I feel like Ragatha was very much set aside a lot of the time. Zubul too. Just so we can get this purple dude in here just a little bit longer. It was very, very unnecessary.
Yeah, Baby's first like tragic in quotes character, bro. It's like, should I really like feel bad for him if like every character's lives fucking like drastically improved after he died? It's just like he's just like something mentally wrong with him. And like genuinely, bro, like I'm not even trying to be funny here. Like it is something like deeply, like psychologically wrong with the dude.
The majority of the movie was just unexplained, rushed, or both. And there's a lot of things that happen that don't really have too much of an explanation to it, which is absolutely.
So the mystery and the lore aren't as important to me as the character building, but I do feel like complaining. And the pilot was all about the mystery, and the mystery drove up so much of the fucking hype for this show, so it has to be important. And guess what? No answers. So I'm not gonna go over every loose thread, mainly because someone else did it, and it took 17 minutes. So we could just go over some of my favorites really quickly. Blue AI, literally useless, does nothing and dies. Kinger says,
"Scratch the first abstraction,"
implying Kane tampered with minds to cause abstraction, but that goes nowhere. What caused Kinger to lose his sanity? Because we would assume, right, that being alone would cause it for so long, but he seems sane, when Ragatha joins, and that's after he's been alone for so long, so what's up with that?
I feel like the whole mystery of the circus suffered the most. I feel like a lot of people, they come into the show, they expect something about the circus, like some like deep lore about the circus and why it was made and like a lot of stuff like that. And like it's fine if like that wasn't really what the story was meant to be. But I feel like there were a lot of like teases and like allusions to there being something like deeper or greater, and like you just never get that.
Now, despite everything that I said, I don't think Jax is that bad of a character. I think she just sucks as a person. If her story was completely unchanged, but we got more from the other characters, I wouldn't be complaining as much. But the show wanted to give me more and more Jax as the episodes went on. Kubel and Zane and Kinger have a lot more going on than the bully with trauma that makes them sad, but instead of exploring them, I just get breastfed quirky marketable Tumblr sexy man Mauve edition. And beyond me having just a personal hatred for his actions, the crux of my issue with the finale and the show is Jax is just fucking boring. We don't need all the time that we get with her to understand how she thinks. Speaking of, the scene where Jax strangles Pomni and sexually harasses Gangle, those scenes supplement her character. But I already know she fucking sucks, so it's unnecessary. It just makes him worse without saying anything new. It's just, Jax has problems expressing emotion / vulnerability, repackaged and rebranded ad nauseum. And even though Jax has zero redeeming qualities, the show still expects you to feel bad because of her tragic backstory, making a tent, crying their butts off, grieving. I just don't fucking care. Everyone is literally happier without this blueberry flavored Pocky literally being abusive. I don't care. Why does Jax even get a tent when the other characters share an aquarium? If Jax was the main character from the start, I don't even know if I'd be making this video because I just not watched the damn thing. But they get me interested with the mystery and the premise and the inklings of a characterization from the non-Jax ensemble, and then episode 5 and 6 happen and suddenly it's Jax and friends. Well, that concludes our interview. We had a very, very productive discussion. Might be the most productive discussion I've ever had about anything ever.
Yeah, I try my best, man.
My life has changed.
You know, I hope so, bro. I'm a real thinker. They call me the fourth thinker.
The fourth thinker.
Yes. Yeah, the fourth one.
And then someone opens up her Tumblr and answers all the unanswered questions. On the one hand, I'm glad we get them, but on the other hand, just write it into the damn show. Fuck you mean CNA shut down because of Kane? Starting a mystery show, then not solving the mystery within the show is a writing decision. One of the writing decisions I've ever seen. It's not like you couldn't have more episodes. It's not like the Digital Circus didn't make bank. We easily could have had more time to flesh out everyone and everything besides Jax. This show could have turned out so much better, but I guess that's just how the goose works, huh? So like, I don't entirely fault Goose for this, cause like this was her first show ever, and they didn't even like bother getting a second person on the writers team to help her out. Like, come on, bruh. Like, it literally feels like she wrote one character and then just didn't have the time to write the other 5. Overall, despite Gooseworks' best efforts, I can't hate the show too much. I do have good memories associated with it, and I anticipated each episode as it came out. It helped me stay in touch with a person who, as it stands right now, is one of my closest friends. She and 2 other of my bestie Wessies lent their voices for these interviews, so I thank them very much. They kept annoying me asking when this video would come out, so it might not have come out if it wasn't for them, so subscribe so their efforts weren't in vain.
Have you ever been to a birthday party for children and one of the children won't stop screaming because he's just a little attention attractor? When he grows up to be a comic or actor, he'll be rewarded for never maturing, for never understanding or learning that every day can't be about him. There's other people, you selfish asshole.